so much for being present here today. So it's always been aim of IWMMTA to bring in new discussions that are need for the hour. And today, such curated sessions are going to be presented in front of you. I hope it opens to a lot of other interesting discussions amongst industry colleagues. So, to start off the session, I would like to call upon Mr. Gopi Tirthagiri, who is the president of the association, to give us all the opening note at this.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Sharma. Good afternoon once again. We as IWMMTA, that is the Machinery Fraternity in India, formed this association for carrying out a lot of activities and to take care of the development of this industry going forward and to take this industry in the right direction. So, as a part of that initiative, we conduct these programs on various aspects of the industry so that the viewers and the market can understand what are the challenges that we have and how to navigate these challenges. So, as a first part, we have this design session. The reason why we have, even in the previous episode also, we had the design as the first thing in all our sessions. The reason is that to create an impact, how important the design in furniture is. But most of the time, if we have to compete in the global stage, design becomes the most important factor, without which we won't be able to compete in global stage today. Many times we compare ourselves with other countries like Italy or European countries or China, we're still not to that level of them in terms of designing our furnitures or creating that appeal on design. And without which we won't be able to compete on the global stage. So today India is being looked up as an alternate destination for furniture manufacturing. So the importance of design becomes very, very crucial at this stage. So that's one of the reasons like we always focus on design as first session in all our episodes. So with that, I welcome all of you once again, even though we don't have any viewers here, but I think this will all go on to the social media and then so many people can actually see this and get benefited out of these sessions. And I hope this session brings you a lot of awareness, a lot of insights. We have brought in some good speakers from the industry. So sit back, relax and enjoy the session. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Mr. Gopi. Well, as Mr. Gopi rightly said, design is one of the factors that play a very important role in the furniture industry and also in the woodworking industry. To start off the session, the first session is design as production multiplier, creating furniture that's easier, faster and smarter to build. So we have our first speaker and her name is Poonam. She is founder and design principal at Cukkemane Design Studio. So I would like to call upon Ms. Poonam to take the conversation further.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. Very warm welcome. And then I'm sure all of us here are today at Indiawood because we really believe in machinery, we believe in manufacturing, right? We believe and we want to update ourselves on the latest trends. We want to look at what are the new materials which are coming, what are the new machines which are coming, what different can we do. But let us pause for a second and let's say there are two factories. Both have the same manufacturing capability, same machinery, same raw materials. Why does it happen that one is able to go further, has better perceived value, has a better product, can deliver faster, can assemble faster. So the difference is not machines here, difference is not the raw materials, difference is design, right? That's why design has to go hand in hand from the beginning. It should not be seen as a tool to be taken as a sideline added later. It has to be integrated and brought from the beginning. So, which brings to our today's topic, which we talk about design as a production multiplier. So I want to talk a little bit about Cukkemane Design Studio. What do we believe in? We are a multidisciplinary design studio, and we are working very closely with industry, specializing in furniture and product solutions, where we want to bring difference with design, how it can make the products different, can be competitive to the international markets in terms of designs using the facilities which are available in the manufacturing setup today in India. And working in the industry for last 2 decades with a lot of suppliers, with vendors, with teams on the production floor, right from the production team to the engineers. One thing that I have realized is when manufacturing and design are not talking to each other, when they are not united, you can see it shows in the product. It shows in the product processes, and where they are going hand in hand and they are going together, integrated, you can see the final product is something that speaks for itself, right? That's the belief that we have. First thing I want us to think about is what is good design. Good design is not how a product looks like. It's not the surface level treatment, how beautiful it looks. It's about how as a designer, how as an industry we've understood that the product, how finally goes to the user, and users have that user experience where they see how it is packaged nicely, of that experience, seeing it in hand, opening it and then saying wow. It's on? Okay, I think better. Thank you. Alright. So I was coming to what is a good design, right? So it's not the surface level treatment, how anything looks like. A lot of people think design is just the surface treatment or interior decoration, or that you just add the fonts. No, design is much more. And what is much more is we have to look at when products are designed starting from the beginning, how we are looking at capitalizing on the production processes which are there, how those detailings can make a difference in the product, how that perceived value goes up with the overall product, right? And we are able to mechanize, create scalability. So every time the product comes, the quality is the same. Each time, every time, same quality. And in case we are not able to deliver that quality, then both design and manufacturing, they fail, right? So it's really important to bring it as a part of the whole system. So essentially, there is a 5-stage process that we follow, which is really, really important. So if you look at the first one, research and design direction is really important because that is the foundation for any good design. A lot of places what will happen is we'll start creating without understanding who's the user, what are their pain points, what are the gaps which are there in the industry, who are our competitors, how can we be competitive, how the products can stand apart. So a lot of research has to be done, which is on the ground level, understanding on the user side. Likewise, the research which is needed to understand the manufacturing where we are developing the product, understanding what machines are used, what are the capabilities of those machines, what can be really done with that. And then once we understand that, we rebrief and say this is what we have to create. That brings to our second point, and stage 2 is the DNA. Because if the DNA is engraved solidly and you are very clear about what you are going to create, what are the product differentiators, then you are on the right path. So a lot of iterations happen at this stage where you understand, talk to the people, you start creating products which are utilizing those abilities on the shop floor and so on. Which brings to stage 3. Engineering is not a correction phase where the designs are given to engineers and say, you correct it. No, it's an integration phase. You have to integrate the designs along with engineering to ensure that when it goes for prototyping and production, it's really smooth. There are no setbacks. Those are to be understood initially itself. So if you'll see between stage 2, 3, 4, there are a lot of overlaps. You're conceptualizing, you are engineering it, and you go back to the drawing board. Again, when you engineer, you start prototyping and you realize, it needs to be re-engineered, it go back. So there's a lot of coordination between the designer and the people on the shop floor that needs to be done here. And prototypes are really the testing, it's a real test for a designer and the manufacturing setup, because you really see what you have created on paper, which looks really amazing, how good it can be translated to a product which is sellable, which can be mass produced, which can be easily produced, which can be easily assembled, easily travel from one part of country to another, or send it outside. And if all the 4 stages are integrated properly, that is where you get a very smooth production. If we miss on these stages and they're not integrated, you'll see the production processes will suffer, you'll see the quality of the product will suffer. Right? Now, coming to what are the industry challenges we face today, I think it's very important for all of us to ponder here and think. So first and foremost, I see that design has to be given its due. It has to be given the importance, which is really important. And especially our Indian manufacturing today is scaling up, and it's going to become larger and larger, right? So we have a bigger role to play. And unlike machinery infrastructure, which is really given a lot of importance today in any industry, we have to start giving importance to design, because that can be a real differentiator, right? That's the point number 1. And second one is, there is a lot of lack of understanding of processes and systems with designers as well. So the education pool is really weak, very low. We have to educate so people understand both ways, how good products can be designed with the right machines. Likewise, what can designers contribute? What can they really draw out of the machine's capability to make products which really stand out? There are insufficient access to structured information and research. A lot of times, as designers are seeing we struggle. I want to try something really amazing, but where do I find that material? Where do we find those finer details? You are able to see, oh, it's available in global market, but I want to try it today. It becomes inaccessible because it's either beyond your budget or you're not able to get it. So I think those ecosystems have to be created in. So we'll have to look at how do we balance creativity with commercial viability, because finally whatever we are creating, these are not art pieces, these are industrial products which have to be used across people, right? People have to use these products. So how do we make it commercially viable? So how do we bring scalability so that they become more and more affordable? There is, like I said, there's need for resourcefulness. Stronger trade recognition and value positioning of design needs to be done. Products have to be sold and marketed based on the design value they bring, not based on price. It costs so much, it is so much, and you buy it. What are the features which differentiate? That understanding we need to start having. How will it benefit a customer? What is the user experience a customer will go through? How it will change their overall experience in their home or office or whichever environment it goes into. And I think as an industry, we all, including designers, need to constantly evolve so that we are in tune with what is needed today. How earlier we had, those basic phones, we moved from that to the touch phones, and today we can't even think to go back to those old ways because you want better and better. Likewise, we have to evolve. We have to become a better as an industry, and as designers create products which are better than what previous generation or what we could create, right? And if we are able to do that, I'm very sure that we'll be able to create products not just locally, even globally. Like I think Mr. Gopi was telling you that a lot of good design comes from Italy. So I think a lot of talent is there in India also. But how we are looking as an industry, we really need to change. We look at Italy is a place which really creates design. I think it's because they have understood design makes a difference. We'll have to understand design makes a difference and start putting those efforts there. So the way forward is pretty simple, right? I mean, like I said, we'll have to start looking at positioning design as strategy. It's not styling, it's not decoration. We'll have to understand, integrate design at the business and decision making level from the beginning. So it integrates manufacturing and design from the beginning. a lot of investment has to be done in research and IP creation. A lot of time what happens is people look at research as an expense, a waste of money. They don't look at research something which adds a lot of value. And if you look at Apple or companies like they have been able to create products which are, path-breaking because they could invest in those research. Build integrated design engineering collaborations. All the various verticals have to work, hand in hand, not in isolation. That's really important. We'll have to focus on standardization, which is, I think it's really important to create product lines which are standardized. Create good designs and then standardize them in such a way that you have bit of parts. You use one bit of parts, overlap, and then you also at the same time create something innovative, which stands apart and makes the product different, right? And keeping these products adding a lot of value and brand perception. Brands have to be created with this, right? The products have to speak for themselves. So I think you can read this, and then I want to take you to one small product that I have done. It's called Tabler, and I want you to experience it. Please enjoy it. Questions if anybody wants to ask something.
To Ms. Poonam, well, that show was a little interesting. I think as a consumer now, every time I'm going to look for a furniture, Tabler is going to come into my mind. I'm definitely going to ask the questions: who, what, where, and how are my furnitures created? Right. So after this very impactful session, now I like to call upon Mr. Charan Pommarapalli, Director of Cabinets and me, to further continue the discussion.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I might not be able to go as deep as ma'am has given the presentation. So I'll just start with a basic concept that we have been working since the beginning of our company. So I'll just start with introducing myself. My name is Charan, and I'm the director at DCO. So I'll just take you through my journey. So we started off with design and manufacturing of furniture from 2014. We have handled around 500 plus projects till date, and we are very good at designing and manufacturing of kitchens, wardrobes and sideboards. So these are our core strengths. So since for today's topic, design as a production multiplier, creating furniture that's easier, faster and smarter to build. So I thought I'll just speak about design as a production multiplier, because we have stalwarts like Raghavendra who can help us understand how to make faster and smarter furniture. So I'll start with today's thing. So design as a production multiplier. So I want to just introduce or talk upon a concept that is called as modularity. So design is more of a thought process. So modularity is one of the concepts that we have been working. So what does modularity as a concept says is, so you have independent units which are functional in themselves, and these independent functional units come together to form an functional environment or a functional system. For example, you have independent units which are part of kitchen. So you bring together many of these functional units and you create a kitchen environment, similarly like a wardrobe or a sideboards. So sideboards are all those units which are not kitchen and wardrobe, like our vanity units or bedside tables and our TV units, crockery units. So these are generally the multi-purpose units that we create in a home. So the best example till date about modularity is Lego. So all of us at some point of time would have played or seen Lego blocks. So each Lego block in itself is functional, and we bring together all these independent Lego blocks to create different art forms or different functional elements. So similarly, when we are doing a furniture like a kitchen and a wardrobe, there are functional units which come together to form that bigger environment that we want to create. So this is just an example of how a modularity might look like. So you have units which are functional in themselves, and you bring together multiple units like this to create the final unit that you want. So by creating a modular kind of an construction structure, so there are some advantages that you gain. One is replaceability. So units can be replaced independently from the whole system without disturbing the whole system. That is one. And second one is redistribution or replacement of the units. The functional units can be replaced based upon the changing requirements and changing functionality. And the addition and removal of the units is very easy in a functional environment. So now we come to an understanding. So we have modularity on one end of the spectrum. On the other end of the spectrum, we just call it as conventional carpentry, which is more of like hard code or hard fix. So you have a unit which is made all together. So you have panels which are shared by different units. So what happens is it becomes very difficult if you have to replace or redo a specific unit. So we have modularity on one side and we have conventional carpentry on the other side. So now we come to a stage wherein the furniture can be factory made or it can be on-site made also. So it gives us four combinations. One is modular factory made furniture, modular furniture which can be on-site made, or you have a conventional carpentry made factory furniture, or you have a conventional carpentry made on-site furniture. So this is just a thought process of ours. So we have been doing the modular form of furniture since the beginning of our company. So I'll just close my session today with a saying from Dieter Rams, who is a legendary German designer. Good design is honest. It does not make a product more innovative, powerful or valuable than it really is. And he's one of the designers whom we look up to, who has given the 10 design principles. So, and I thank IWMMTA for identifying new speakers and for giving us an opportunity to share our thought process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Charan. Well, both the speakers have put a thought in my mind, and Charan very happily has placed a Lego in my mind. I hope my designing is also as good as just placing the Legos up and down. But maybe that is the reason we have architects and designers who are specialized in designing. With a small memento for their knowledge sharing session here today. First, I would like to call upon Ms. Poonam Sharma. Thank you so much, Ms. Poonam Sharma. I would like to now call upon Mr. Charan Pommarapalli.